Hey guys, this is Arsenal Giants PS3, and yesterday I did Manchester City, today I'm doing Manchester United. Now these are the big two ones I'm sure everyone's been waiting for. The big guns, the big two teams that everyone's going to be probably using online next season if they're playing in the Premier League. And I've been as liberal as I can with both of them. Obviously, Van Persie, one of my favourite players ever to play for Arsenal up until a week ago, joined Manchester United about a week ago, and no coincidence there, I'm sure. And they've spent very, very well, and they did have a tough season last year, stolen away from them on the last day, on the last minute basically of last season. Manchester City won the league, and they failed to get out of the Champions League group, and they didn't win anything, in fact. But as you know, Sir Alex is one of the best managers of all time, and he did a great job in strengthening this team at the peril of many an Arsenal fan. But I think this team looks very, very good, and I'm going to be as liberal as I can. Again, guys, I've collaborated not only Manchester United fans but loads of other people's opinions on this as well, because everyone's got an opinion on Manchester United and Manchester City, the two best teams in England. And let's get into it. And I know exactly where you guys are looking at right now. I'll explain that in a minute. But first off, we're going to start with this man, David De Gea. A very, very good season for him, actually. He started off quite tough. Remember again, guys, all my ratings are based. I'm just may change all the in-games to get the overall, so, don't actually think De Gea has whatever reflexes, whatever. They're just, I just use them to get to that level. But De Gea had a good season in the end. It started off dodgy. He had that really dodgy save against Shane Long of West Brom. But he really did recuperate his season, made a couple of amazing saves, including an immense save against Juan Mata at Stamford Bridge, and I think 81's about right for him. I think that's the same level I gave Wojciech Szczesny, and I think that's about right. Those two players are very, very similar. Next up we have Raphael. Maybe he should be a 78. He's a good player, Raphael, but he does struggle sometimes defensively. But he's got a lot of bite in him, not of him. He's a good player, I think, Raphael, and he just, he's not far away from that kind of 80, 81, 82. He will be a Manchester United legend if he doesn't get injured, but he's still growing, and I think a 76 or maybe a 78, maybe a 77, around that, probably non-rare would be about right for him. Now, if Terry gets an 84, Ferdinand gets an 84, both of them, they're like Lampard and Gerrard, Owen and Heskey. They're that kind of old England that seems to be decaying under Roy Hodgson. The England which promised so much but never lived up to anything. I think that's a bit of a harsh way of phrasing it, but I think Ferdinand has had a tough time getting back to the old form we all knew him for, I guess. But in his day, him and Terry were both amazing for their clubs. Now they are getting older, and I think the 84 is about right for those two. Maybe Vermaelen should be 83 if I'm putting these guys 84. But they're good defenders, and I think they're solid centre backs, but they just haven't quite got the edge to be at the very top levels. And I think 84 for both of them is about right. If Vidic is unchanged because he was injured, on his day one of the best centre backs the world has ever seen, to be quite frankly honest. But when he's not playing, he's obviously not going to change that much, so I've just left him as an 89. Next up we have Evra. I've downgraded him 1 because he is getting older. Evra is having a tough time now on that left back, and after they signed Alex Budna or whatever from the Eredivisie, that's a backup. Evra is a good player, but he just struggles sometimes defensively, sometimes leaves gaps, and I think leaving him in an 80, downgrading him by 1 would probably be about right. He'll probably still be the best left back in the Premier League, bar Ashley Cole, but still having a tough time just putting his name down for greatness, if you know what I mean. Maybe if they win the league this year, he'll be again shoot straight back up, but last year he was a bit dodgy. Next up we have Young. Young is one of those players which some people thought he was rated way too high, some people rated too low. He's probably England's best winger, and an 84 and 85 is about right for him. He's a very talented player on his day, and can change games. He scored those 2 lovely goals against Arsenal when they smashed us 8-2. And I've got a lot of admiration for Young. He does need to get rid of his maybe less what's a good way of putting it? His less sportsman-like behaviour every now and again. Sometimes he can be a bit of a, I don't want to say cheat, but he can be a bit deceiving. But yeah, I think 85 or maybe an 84 actually would be about right for him. Next up we have Shinji Kagawa. A superb player. If it wasn't for this guy, Dortmund wouldn't have won the league last year. Sensational player. He will be an absolute revelation for Manchester United. He shan't flop. He will be superb. When Nuri Sahin left Dortmund in 2011, people are thinking, where are the goals going to come from? Where's the midfield going to be run from? And this man stepped up once again. People thought he just had a good season in 2011. He really didn't. He was superb again last year as they won the league. And he'll be a big loss for Dortmund, but a great gain for Manchester United. And I think 84 is about right for him. No one should underestimate him purely because he came from the Bundesliga, because this man has the talent to be one of the best attacking midfielders in the Premier League. Next up we have Carrick. Vastly underrated player, Michael Carrick. He really does run the league, run the midfield for Manchester United. I mean, he had a great game against QPR, I think it was, when he scored a great solo goal, and he's a sublime passer as well. If you just watch Carrick, take a Manchester United game for example, and just watch every single thing Carrick does. He has shades of Paul Scholes in him. His passes are good. He's a good defensive player, and he does a very, very good job. And I think Carrick is quite underrated in that sense, and I think he deserves an 83. He's a very talented midfielder. Next up is again a crazy rating, but he is the best winger in the Premier League, Valencia. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a secret diehard Man United fan. No, of course I'm not. Hate them. But no, he's a very, very good player, and you have to admit he's a talented player. He scored a great header against us, and scored, I think, 2 against Blackburn. He turns up when they need him, and again, he was a great signing by Sir Alex. People, raised eyebrows, Manchester United signing a Wigan player, but it was a great signing, and who knows, maybe Victor Moses could follow in that vein. Now, the big two, Robin and Rooney, Batman and Fat Man, Batman and Fat Man, what the hell? Robin and Fat Man, or Batman, whatever. The two best strikers in England at the moment. I know that's maybe harsh on Aguero or Cisse or whatever, but 72 goals in between these guys last year. That is ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. 35 goals in all competitions for Wayne Rooney in something like 43 games, and 37 goals in something like 45 games for Van Persie. If that's not deserving of a 90 level, they played in the highest realms of football. They are both their best strikers. I mean, if Van Persie keeps up his form, I mean, I hate him for leaving us, but I admire him as a footballer. He is supremely talented, as is Wayne Rooney. And 72 goals between these two last year. If they can just replicate that, even half, they're going to be amazing and unstoppable. And I personally think this could be the best striker partnership we have ever seen in the Premier League. Forget your Bergkamps, your Henrys. If this team gels, and it pains me to say they could be better than Bergkamp and Henry, but if this team does gel, it could be. I mean, that strike partnership could really, really be the best strike partnership we've ever seen in the Premier League. If it gels, it has all the ability to do so. But who knows, and maybe Rooney could become an even better player for playing with Van Persie, and likewise for Van Persie. They're two sensational, clinical, brilliant strikers, and all Sir Alex Ferguson needs to do is find out a way to play them both in. So that concludes my Manchester United one. I feel dirty for being so nice to Manchester United, but thus is the way, and Robin Van Persie, go away. But it's, it is a good team, and you can't underestimate that team and the ability it has in it. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and please leave a like if you enjoyed.